caring about rule of law, democracy, and fundamental rights, because all of these values are shaken, if not reshuffled, by the COVID crisis, for sure. Some countries across the European Union did have constitutional dispensations or legislations for the matter, emergency legislation, but some countries did not. All of them have resorted to emergency measures, making an impact on the ordinary way in which we enjoy our fundamental rights. Those measures are to be proportionate and according to the principle of necessity, which is enshrined by the Charter of Fundamental Rights. All of those measures have to be subject to scrutiny, both judicial and parliamentary scrutiny, which are not to be weakened. And all of those measures are particularly harsh on vulnerable groups, people who have been discriminated against, minorities, migrants, refugees, even minor underage. The penalties which are to be imposed, or the sanctions are to be imposed if there is non-compliance with those emergency measures, have also to be subject to judicial scrutiny and judicial remedies which are effective. So we are calling the Commission to play its role as guardian of the treaties and European law, including those principles which are enshrined by the Treaty of Lisbon, rule of law, democracy, and fundamental rights, because law matters. Law always matters. Not only it happens that it matters in times of crisis, it matters especially in times of crisis. The point we are making is that all of the countries have to care about legal standards, proportionality and necessity, equality and non-discrimination, and of course judicial remedy when imposing sanctions. We know that these emergency measures have come with a severe strengthening of law enforcement and in many cases with penalties being imposed to those citizens found not compliant with the restrictions. Even those sanctions have to be subject to fair judicial remedy and access to justice. Otherwise, we would see that the legal standards we care for are declining before the COVID. Schengen is at stake. We don't like the idea of Schengen crumbling down. For sure that it's the most appreciated asset of the European experience ever. So if it's to be suspended, if countries are to impose restrictions to free circulation of people or goods, imposing restrictions to air carriers, to air transit between member states of the European Union, imposing red light, green light, or yellow light, orange light, qualifying the situation in the varied member states, it takes European overview. It takes European oversight.